Hello everybody, this is Cacti and Carnivores here. Today I have finally got a TDS meter, and I'm going to be testing different types of water here. I've set up 5 separate samples of different waters I have access to, and before we test them, I guess we'll get into that, but not right now. First I want to talk to you about this TDS meter I got. Now I got this off of Amazon, pretty cheap, like $6. They're more like high-end ones that were like, had like a leather case and could check like temperature and other similar things. But this one just tests simple parts per million, ppm. I've had it for a little while, but I was too busy. I would have made a video like unpackaging it, but then again, that wouldn't really be that exciting. Whatever. I have it right now, and all that matters is that we are going to be testing things. I have 5 samples here, 3 of which are like this relatively like good methods for CP cultivation. These 2 being rainwater, and then this one being distilled water. And these ones are pretty, usually just advised against for beginners. These are both tap water. This is simple, like faucet water right from the sink, and this is kind of filtered water. There's like a filter next to the faucet, and it gets rid of some of the chlorine kind of stuff, but it doesn't really do much. And so I'm going to be testing to see if my water, the tap water I have, is suitable for carnivorous plants. Now, as most of you know, carnivorous plants like relatively pure water compared to most garden plants. Low salts, just like stuff in the water that can make it impure, things like salts. And for TDS meters, around like the absolute maximum a carnivorous plant can tolerate is 160 parts per million in your tap water, and that is if you wash it out regularly. If you wash the pots out with like distilled water, if it gets a lot of rainwater, and then somewhere under 100 is usable, and then below like 50 is like perfect. So we're going to see here if the water I've been using is good, which, I mean, this definitely is, but I'm going to see if my tap water is good, and this is, yeah, so that's going to be interesting. So for this one, it is just insanely simple to use. You just actually, you get the thing off. I'm holding a camera, so I can't. Yeah, you get the cap off. You have this little, like, tester unit right here. I'm sorry for the sun here. There we go. So you just hit on, and it'll show 3 zeros. And then once you sampled your water and this stabilizes, you can hit hold, and then it'll keep it at there once you take it out of the water. So let's start with distilled water. So just simple, insert it in. This is going to be kind of hard to see. I am sorry for the lighting, but as you can see, it is just a simple, I'm not getting anything. So I'm guessing this distilled water is just like really insanely pure. I didn't expect it to be that pure. Usually it's like for distilled water, I believe it's around 10 ppm, so that's weird. That was distilled water. This here is rain collected water, and this is like very like pure water. There wasn't a lot of debris in it when I collected it. So we look at it, we evaluate it. I dry off my TDS meter. Hit on. Let me stick it in. And we got about 3. So that's a tiny bit higher than the distilled water. But it's still pretty good. Actually really good. Like that's approximate to pretty much nothing. Now we got the rainwater I collected, but is really, really gross. Like off color, like a million springtails up on the surface. Those are basically like little insects that eat like algae and fungus and stuff. So when they're in the pots, it means like there's fungus in there and algae. This is, I think, like tray water. When it was like the winter and in California it just rains instead of snowing for like a majority of the country. It was raining a lot, and I didn't clear out the trays as quickly as I'd like, and the water would sit and like absorb the algae and the moss in my plants' pots, and they would just get like it would get a little gross. So I'm gonna see if this is really any more impure. And that reads a good 10 on the meter. Nothing too bad. I mean, it's obvious it'd be distilled in rainwater. Wouldn't expect much. But as you can see, slightly more impure. It's mainly just algae that's in there, like organic matter. So not really that much. Kind of pond scum. Now for the final two. The filtered water and the like just pure, like just sink water. So give it a good dry off. Stick that in, and that's reading. What do I got? I got 40. Let me hit the hold button. Read it. 40. That's pretty good. That's below 100, below 50. Absolutely perfect. Yeah, pretty pure. So I'm assuming, yeah, I could probably use my tap water for my carnivorous plants, which is really good considering that I've spent so much time just like collecting all of that and buying distilled water. So I wasn't useless, but you know, helps a lot. So let's test the sink water. Not sink water, kitchen water, and it's 42. I'm guessing, or 43. Just hit 43. But I'm guessing that extra 3 ppms was like chlorine and stuff. Stuff that kind of gives the water a funny taste. But that is still really pure. So, as it turns out, my tap water is safe for use for carnivorous plants. And you've got kind of a nice gradient here. At least for me, I got the distilled water, which is the absolute best. Although this might not be completely accurate, there might be a 2 or 3 ppm like margin of error, but it still doesn't really matter that much. So I got like close to being completely pure to like slightly less pure but still completely usable to slightly less pure but completely usable again to a significant amount but still usable. So all of this is usable, and that's really nice to know. Yeah, so that's just everything. TDS meter for carnivorous plants. If you're interested in finding out what water you can exactly use, then pick one up and test your water.